Welcome back to the news today. Time magazine named German Chancellor Angela Merkel its 2015 Person of the Year today, noting her resilience and leadership when faced with the Syrian refugee crisis and turmoil in the European Union over the currency. Merkel topped a short list of finalists that include U.S. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump, who came in third, and Islamic State leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. I will never understand this list, who was runner-up. Joining me tonight to discuss this are Daniel Shack, former Israel ambassador to France. Good evening.
Hi, good evening, Lucy.
And also Gad Arnsberg. Sorry.
Very difficult German name.
It's a very difficult German name. Expert on German history. Good evening. Thank you very much for joining me. So because I was mistaken with your name, I will start with you. She had a really, let's say, difficult and a good year, Chancellor Angela Merkel. On one hand, she became some kind of the hero or the leader of the refugee crisis. And on the other hand, she suffered from decrease in her popularity among the Germans. So it seems that the international impact is bigger than the inner impact that she has in Germany, isn't it so?
Yes, that's right. She came now lately more and more under pressure from her own party, mainly from the right-wing CSU, its sister party from Bavaria, which is more conservative. All in all, she let now in about 1 million refugees from Syria. But it's her belief, that's her credo, so to say, that she thinks that because of the German history, Germany is obliged to be very liberal concerning the immigration policy, on the one hand. But it might be that she will have, because of this inner pressure now, she will have to turn back a little bit and restrict this very, very liberal immigration policy of hers. But that's her credo. She believes that's the duty of Germany to be kind concerning the fate of refugees because of what happened in World War II, of course. And in that concern, she is very ideological, so to say. It might harm her. Now, according to the latest poll, she's in the fourth place in comparison to other politicians. But on the other hand, she is in favor of staunch integration. She is very much against this multicultural attitude. She said in the past, and she reiterated it now, that the multicultural approach is failed. So she would like these people to, which flooded Germany now, to integrate.
And they picked Germany from all the countries. They wanted to get to Germany. And we've been discussing the immigration crisis for a long time now, also concerning the terror attacks in Paris and in Europe, and the terror attack that Europe is facing, an ISIS crisis that Europe is facing right now. And what we're seeing is that maybe because of the good integration, because of her policy, this is what putting Germany or keeping Germany out of this, let's say, the wave of terror that Europe is experiencing, because the immigrants are pretty happy and pretty good, and they live a pretty good life in Germany.
First of all, why was she chosen? You said that the list was a little bit odd to you. Well, it's not a pageant, you know. They don't choose the nicest person on the globe. They choose the personality that impacted the history of the previous year the most.
More than Vladimir Putin?
Well, no, but you sort of cringed when about al-Baghdadi. But we could agree that he impacted the history of 2015 probably more than Angela Merkel. But I suspect that Time magazine would feel a bit uncomfortable rewarding him completely.
Exactly, because that was my next question.
What was rewarded with Angela Merkel? Very simply, leadership. And what is leadership? It's the ability to make a decision. all the leaders of Europe were struggling. On the one hand, on the other hand, maybe we should do this, but maybe we should have a special meeting of the EU, and maybe we should discuss it next week. And she just made a decision and said, I will open my borders. We will take in 1 million people this year, maybe another 1 million next year. And leadership works. Everybody else aligned behind her.
Exactly.
So now the question, why Germany? Well, you answered the question, because first of all, as our friend in the studio said, there is a very liberal policy towards them under the current government. They are welcome. Many, and it's hearsay, you know, refugees work, they have families, they have friends, they have clans, they have neighbors so they go to the countries where they hear that things are the most comfortable. So it's Germany, it's Sweden, it's a few other countries in Europe. They won't go to Portugal where things are difficult, or they don't want to stay in Greece, although maybe they could, because they're looking for the best possible economic and social and human conditions.
Let's talk a little bit about the leadership aspect of this. Even when she needed to face the Greek crisis, and when Greece considered maybe economic crisis, when Greece considered to go out of the Eurozone, she basically made it very clear to Greece that it will, at the end of the day, it will go the way that I want, and we will decide how it's going to look. And at the end of the day, this is what happened. And when we're seeing, especially in this region, the lack of leadership, it's amazing to see a woman in Germany stepping up above everyone and basically taking the role of the leadership, which men are not doing.
Right. It's more astonishing because if you look at her past or heritage, she looked something like a great personality. She started her political career as a favorite of Helmut Kohl. Her name was Kohl's Mädchen. It means
Kohl's girl.
Kohl's girl.
Kohl's girl, not Kohl girl.
Kohl, not Kohl. Kohl, Helmut Kohl. Kohl's girl. And she was, nobody really believed that something will come out of her, you know? That is so astonishing.
And she became the Mutter, right? The mother of all Germans.
She has no charisma. She dresses, you know, her reputation concerning her costumes and fashion is not the best. But she has her principles, and she sticks to her principles, and that's what makes her, first of all, so, I think, in Germany and worldwide, she's so popular because she sticks to the principle. She's not opportunistic. And even now, because what happened in Paris, she aligned with France, but she didn't give in to very nationalistic trends in Germany and in other parts of Europe. She didn't give in. So she has her principles and she sticks to them, and it doesn't matter. Now, when she came under criticism from her own party, she said, "These 1 million people are here. That's a fact. We have to deal with that fact. We cannot change it."
You know, one last sentence and one last comment about the political aspect of this, let's say, Time magazine choosing. It is political because they couldn't put al-Baghdadi in a time of war, in a time of terror.
They could have chosen an American, but I think there's a message there too that, you know, in a sense, she's one of the last hopes of serious politics around the world. Exactly for that reason, she has no charisma, she's not good looking, she's not young, she doesn't perform very well on television, but she has substance, she has real leadership. And if you look at all the people campaigning for the U.S. presidency, you don't have one like her.
I think the point is credibility.
Credibility, yes, exactly. Gentlemen, thank you very much for this. If Angela Merkel would have heard this discussion, I think that she would have been really happy about this. Thank you very much for this.